Well, hello there, everyone. Um, Hope everybody is doing well. It's been quite a long time, a year and a half or so, since I've been on Facebook, etc. And I'd like to start off, of course, wishing everyone a belated, but nevertheless, a very happy and wonderful new year. Hope the best for everyone. Um, Essentially, the reason for my absence is that after my second jab with the COVID vaccine, shortly thereafter, 2 days later, my neck became paralyzed to the point where I couldn't even touch it, let alone try to massage it. It was extremely painful, and and I phoned the doctors, and they said to keep an eye on it. It did get better. It took a bit over a week, and from there, and the reason for taking the vaccines is I was going to Finland for a clinic. So I felt, well, certainly good enough once the neck settled down, and I went to Finland. Um, Carita had set up a clinic, and I had a great time there uh, with her family, the students, the horses, etc. It was a wonderful time. Health-wise, I felt fine. No issues, no problems, nothing. Nothing. I was there for what, a week, just about a week. I had a great time. I took photos. Maybe some of you saw them. Some of the horses and so on, surrounding area. I like going for walks out in the nature, etc. This beautiful location. So I came home, and what, a weekish, 2 weeks or so, started to feel bad. Um, and then from there, things took a turn for the worse, and then was been back and forth with the doctors, etc. A lot of tests done, and so on. And I've had the long COVID now for a year and a half, um, and to where you feel good, and then within a minute or two you can be totally wiped out, and other issues as well. But no point in going into them for now. And so, anyways, approximately a month or so ago, speaking with people and such. And the other thing, I would like to thank the many of you who sent me messages. And my apologies for not responding, but sometimes when I was wiped out, it was. In fact, even local lessons here, I stopped altogether. Was invited, like, to clinic here and there, even back in the U.S. But I couldn't do anything. But over the last month, I have been speaking. People involved in other fields, very extremely knowledgeable people in their respective fields, and all tied in, of course, to the situation that has been taking place for the last 2+ decades regarding Rollkur LDR, blatant and sadistical, barbaric horse abuse. Speaking with these various individuals, I was very impressed. Some, as we were talking, they were busy Googling and asking me, I mean, the best of questions imaginable. And so most certainly they're extremely interested they are in this issue. And so time went by, my health seeming to be getting better. And then, of course, in speaking with them, it does help a tremendous amount as far as your overall spirits. And picking up my spirits, and I that without question, as you all know, goes a long way towards health. I have remained in this sickness still, for the most part, with a ski machine, not to the extent as before, but once a day is plenty enough, as many of you may know. So me and the ski machine twice a day, and for me, beneficial in so many ways. Aside from the physical, mentally, for me, it's been wonderful. And so, while speaking with them, of course, discussing the campaign, the campaign to abolish, put an end to Rollkur LDR, which many of you are aware of, and my involvement in this. And so, it's been, knock on wood, with my health, maybe, finally, it is on its way to a full recovery. Even 3/4 of a recovery is sufficient enough, and allows me to do things. And for me, my more or less sole reason for being on Facebook has been the campaign dealing with putting an end to horse abuse. And while sick, of course, I mean, these things, or making any type of, as far as going any place, it was such an unknown. It was difficult sometimes if I was to prepare to go into town, let's say, and then all of a sudden you get hit, and not safe to drive. But anyways, let's leave that part aside. Speaking with the people that I've been speaking, and then health feeling better, I felt good enough to go back on Facebook and to start where I left off before I got sick, with a campaign. And so I've been speaking with a video producer, a wonderful man, and we were in the middle of making a new video, which I was posting on often enough, including photos and stuff like that. It's going to be a super nice video. And the purpose of that video was for, at that time, the upcoming World Championships, and dealing with the sponsors, a boycott of the sponsors. But I got sick, and that put a kibosh to everything. But of late, then, of course, I have been speaking at length with a video producer. And so we're making, of course, some changes and such. And we're back and working with a video. And we think it'll be done approximately a month or so. What the whole purpose now, okay? What is next? The next big event are the Olympics next year in Paris, France, right now in France, also other parts of Europe, right? Lots of protests, but in general, the whole world with the state of things, where things are right now. But in a way, I'm encouraged by the protests. I think they're rightfully so. People should be as upset as they are and doing what they can be doing. And this goes hand in hand with the issue of Rollkur LDR and the upcoming Olympics and at Paris, France. And so prior to getting sick at the last big championships that we had in good old dressage, if you want to call it dressage nowadays, it's, nothing about it is dressage. Nothing. I've said this, many people have said this plenty of times. I mean, there's not a single movement that corresponds to the most basic things within the FEI rulebook. Not a single movement. Because to begin with, the outline is not in accordance to the rulebook. So, we had at those last championships, which were, again, they could have been either European or they were the Olympics. The time goes by, but when we did have that period of cancellation due to the COVID of the Olympics, so it was the following year. So during the Olympics, we had fabulous work done by the animal rights groups. Quite a few of them. And I was posting and often and sharing those animal rights groups material. I had spoken with all of their directors. They're fully supporting this campaign of mine. To abolish, and I mean abolish, Rollkur LDR. And so, yeah, we had the animal rights groups, and the story was then getting out to the people within those groups. And that's more of the general population, because one of my main goals over the course of the years, I have firmly believed that this story needs to get out to the general public. Within the horse community, we all know all about it, have known about it, have talked about it. We've had the vets or books written, and the vets and their research. The people within Facebook, very involved, wonderful work. Many people, many people over the years, up until today. I was super, people were telling me while I was gone, okay, that these things are going on. And I felt and do feel very good about that. And so one of my main things for a good number of years has been to get the story out to the general public. And so I've been with a journalist from the New York Times, the BBC, the Guardian was the last big one, and the fantastic journalists doing their own research as well, interviews, etc., stories fully written, they being assured by their editors, super duper wonderful work, keep going. And then, of course, from within the horse community, one person speaking to the other person, speaking to the other one and the other one, and the stories just stopped. And so then I learned, of course, you learned, of course, many things, uh, successes, whether you're successful or you fail, you learn, of course. Also, myself during that whole period did, boy, I'm thinking about it. Interviews with independent media, there was maybe good interviews. 5 videos were done, really 30 minutes to 1 hour. Very, very good interviews discussing the whole thing within the FEI, the Spanish Writing School, the Cadre Noir, and so on. And right down to the very little children who would never, never, never harm an animal, a horse, a pony, never. But here they were. And how, why? Well, they have a good old trainer, knowledgeable trainer, doing their Rollkur LDR. And so here's a little pony like this, with these smiling children, not knowing. And it's, yeah. And so much, what I'm getting at there is much, whether myself, others, through the years, up until today, and ongoing tomorrow, etc. And, but my whole thing is knowledge, not knowledge. The knowledge, we've had knowledge, copious amounts of it. It's all there. Of course, and there's another competition, there's more abuse, and so that gets spoken of. And on it goes. And on and on and on it goes. And then on it goes some more. And it never stops, but it doesn't stop. You see, even, whether Chef Jensen saying that we will never succeed, rightfully so, he was right, because we are too disorganized as far as working together. The FEI themselves have said that to them it doesn't matter. We can make as many Facebook posts as we want. It does not mean a damn thing to them. It does not affect them. Maybe the individual on a personal level, but it's infinitesimal. As far as stopping, putting an end to the abuse. And so with this campaign, and it's always been, no, knowledge, it's wonderful. Knowledge is always, always great. But is that the solution? Knowledge alone is not the solution. And the solution, to me, the way I've seen it for a long, long time, has always been the general public. We need numbers, because within the horse community, people will like, it's subjective. Number one, playing on, oh yeah, Rollkur is banned. It doesn't exist, it's banned. Well, no. And so the wording got changed in 2010. Yeah, LDR, low, deep, and round. It sounds better. To the horse, is there any difference? Is there any difference to the horse? Is there any difference? There's a difference within the horse community, because they look at this subjectively. If it's a friend or some sort of acquaintance, it's perfectly fine, it's okay. But this is where the general public comes in. They look at these things objectively. And all this, what we have with the photos and videos and stuff, done publicly, in front of your face at the warm-ups. In some cases, within the competition arena as well. But we all know it's been well established that judges bribed the judge, not in accordance to the rule book. No. These are their own rules that have been made up. And so it is. The same thing could be said for the most part, large part of the equine media. And who is it that they ultimately work for? Yeah. And so, with me, the thing, and this campaign has always been the general public. Get the numbers. And is so much needed when it comes to an effective boycott of product. And so this is, again, my approach is kind of basic and simple, and I love it for that aspect of it. It's perfect, and it's not complicated at all, not one single bit. And so, just as in before, what will be done is the communication with the animal rights groups, their members, and now we're talking about a sizable amount of people. Continuing here on in, once the video is done, a month or so it'll take, where it's finished, posted in different platforms. And then this story will be getting out to the general public. And then the Olympic Games will be approaching, addressing the Olympic sponsors, and the boycott will begin before the Olympic Games and continue, of course, during the Olympic Games and afterwards. And so that's where things stand. Let me just have a look here. I had written down, and getting older, but even when younger, it's good to go over your homework. It's good. Yeah, I'm not going to carry on much longer. It's long enough. It's good to be back. I want to thank so many of you that sent me messages. I, again, apologize for not responding back, but I needed to. And again, I hope the very best for everybody this year, and of course, beyond this year. And I will be making posts, maybe not as often. I am busy with whether it's the video and these other things, all geared towards the campaign to abolish completely Rollkur LDR. Completely. It does not belong in the Olympic Games, number one, prestigious Olympic Games. It doesn't belong anywhere. But that is the essence of essentially myself coming back. I've been making this video and coming back onto the Facebook. But there will be, I'm made myself very familiar with the usage of the other good number of platforms and so on. And so we're going to be moving forward. Yeah, and putting an end, really, to put an end to this sadistic, barbaric horse abuse within the FEI extended into the Spanish riding school, Cadre Noir, the Portuguese, the Andalusians, all the clubs, all the children, every aspect, pretty much so, of riding. Which includes, of course, the modern pentathlon, when the big story became big with the animal rights groups, because the horse was able to escape. Why? It did not have the curb bit. That's why. With all of our riders, I'd say 98, 9%. There is not a single one that can do their Grand Prix test without their horse blowing up on a scaffold. I say that with knowing it 100%. You can see it. It's there. And so, again, it's nice to be back. Hello, everyone. And we move forward. Thank you for listening. And yeah, okay. Bye-bye now.